You are being observed. Since I can remember, I never wanted to have common sense. To have common sense meant to think like the majority of society, and I did not, and I still do not think or feel that the majority of society has well thoughts. I have no desire to be what is considered normal as a human being, because what is considered as normal is to be in a constant condition of toxicity and sickness, and it is to waste away or to slowly marinate in a low vibrational state of mind. I was recently listening to Ralph Smart, who is a YouTuber that I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, and I heard him reference Jiddu Krishnamurti, and I hope to be pronouncing his name correctly. Krishnamurti is a philosopher, amongst other things, but Ralph Smart quoted Krishnamurti stating, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." And I so resonate with these words. That is the most perfectly stated depiction of how I feel towards society. A couple of times, people I was acquainted with in the past had acknowledged the fact that they could tell I didn't really like people very much. I can't remember what I told them as far as why I felt the way that I did. And as the decades have gone by, instead of understanding people better, the more I experienced humanity, the more I withdrew and instead grew further apart from other people. I just don't see the world the same as most people, and I told myself that the day I get comfortable in my surroundings, either people have changed or I've become what I hate. And I'm pretty sure you can tell how that turned out. If it were not for my children, I would probably be a recluse right now. From what I have observed throughout my life, most people are vile, nasty, narcissistic, petty, mean, greedy, treacherous, clueless, and very unwise toward themselves and one another. That low vibrational energy is what surrounds us, and we swim in it every day. We don't have to wonder why most of society is anxious, depressed, and stressed. Almost every medical chart that I have read in the past 5 years, and most who are middle aged and older, have a diagnosis of anxiety and depression, and I guarantee you that most of them are taking pills for it. Humans like to say a speech at a podium after a big disaster, during a war, or after a tragedy, and talk about how good humanity is toward one another, and how people always pull together to help each other, and how humankind always rises to the occasion, being there for one another in a time of need, and treating your fellow mankind with dignity and respect, and so on. This causes humans to deflect and allows them to sweep their true characters under the rug, because if it weren't for humankind, in most cases, no one would have to stand at the podium to give a pep talk in the middle of war or most tragedies, much of which are caused by humans in the first place. Humans like to receive the unfounded flattery, but that's foolishness, and humans know it, because the world would not be in the state that it is currently in, and this system of slavery, greed, racism, and classism would otherwise not have been allowed to flourish. It is the focus and attention, along with the participation, that keeps the system alive. What goes on this planet is the mere reflection of the inhabitants of this planet. There are observers here that record their interactions with humanity. They record on an individual level or a sort of micro level, and they do so on a more all-inclusive or macro level as well. I say all, but it is more of a selected many of the population that have taken part without knowing that they are or have been observed at one point or another. Given that information, I would like to ask you a personal question. Let's say a decision has been made about whether humanity deserves to survive. If you were able to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you at some point in your lifetime met a being who you shared a certain period of encounters with, and they observed and recorded your character as a human being, how you treat others, how you treat the earth, and how you even treat yourself was all documented. Do you think that you as a human being would have helped to convince these authorities to save humankind? Or do you think that you are a person who would have persuaded the powers that be to have made the decision to say that humanity is beyond saving? Well, I will tell you that the powers that be, or at least one of the galactic councils, does not feel that humanity as a whole is worth saving. Some have already begun doing the work on themselves through what we call an awakening, and others will begin to do the work. But the majority of humanity will deny the truth and refuse to change. It is their low vibrations and frequencies that cause a denser energy, making it difficult for the others to go through their awakening. For those of you who deny and refuse the truth and choose to remain in your current state of mind, they do not care about you. Let me say, they do not care about you in the sense that they allow you free will, and therefore you will not be harmed by them, but you will also not be saved by them. You will be left to carry on and remain in this current system in whatever state it is in at the appointed time. The observers who are here look just like me and you, and they are only here to observe and transmit information. They are not here to persuade you. They do not make any decisions regarding where humanity is headed. How long they have been here, I do not know. How long they are going to be here, I do not know. But you are being observed. You are being given this information so that you can make an informed decision. Please like and subscribe to receive more messages brought to you by my Galactic Council. This concludes today's Chronicles of a New Black Woman by Dar-Luz. Until next time, remember that the universe begins with you and I.